Hi guys. Today we're gonna be talking about reactions. So I'm gonna go start off because he doesn't know really, but um, so we're gonna talk about reactions. So for
Look in the
example,
camera.
if I am on at someone's house, pretend I'm already at his house, but pretend I'm a friend of him. I drop a plate, and it breaks. Um, and I say, no, I'm sorry. I'll go ahead and pay for it. What's the cost and everything? But if I was the son of Brian, then he would be like, oh wow, wow, wow. A different reaction versus I'm someone's house and I'm a friend and I'm saying, hey, I'm sorry. I'm gonna pay for it, clean it up, pay for it, anything you need. And if I was the son, I would be like grounded or something, But if I was accidentally, I think it would be like different if I was the son. But if it was a friend, it would be like, oh, sorry, same. If it was accidentally, it would be like pretty much the same thing.
Okay, that means that your question it is why for the equal action or something. Let's say it could be misfortune or it could be the good. Why do we have a different reactions or treatment on the things?
Yeah,
Uh, is that a point?
yeah,
You're basically saying if somebody does, you come on a visit, and we're sitting at a table, you somehow turn around, the plate fell down. Boom.
yeah,
Blank. Now, if you are a visitor, there would be a different reaction from the owner than if you are his son.
yes, that's correct.
That's maybe a good question. Because usually, if it's like somebody your age, if you're my son, I would probably have the higher standard for you to behave and be careful. Whatever. As for somebody who's a visitor. Okay, that means that probably reactions are somehow correlated with the how we have in our mind, in our thoughts, this person. If we are guiding him, or we like to him to be somehow in this guidance that we are giving to him. Be careful, watch for this, don't do this, all that stuff. Now, for somebody else, we don't have it. And then we have a bias behavior. If it's my son, let's say, you stupid, you don't watch, look at what you did, you broke the plate. No, we don't have a complete plate. I cannot go buy just one plate, I have to buy the whole set. You could be a little bit more careful. I would be very critical to you.
Yeah,
Because I would take that liberty that I'm allowed to tell you because you are my son and I am preparing you for the life and I'm educating you and I am basically pointing the things which are good and which are not good. Now, with somebody else, it's a visitor. For the visitors, we definitely have a little bit different rules or basically expectations. We don't
yes,
like it that they break the plate, that's obviously. We like from you to apologize for this, and say, I'm sorry, I didn't, whatever. Even I would judge that you were clumsy and not careful enough, but I'm not going to give you the lecture like this because you are obviously somebody else you came to visit. If you would be complete kid, I would probably tell you too, hey, if you're coming to our house, we have to watch a little bit for the things here. But this is a good question that you have because this also could apply to many other things. Even later on in
yeah,
a life, we judging the people according to our own norms,
yeah,
and we have a different criteria for different people. But those criteria are basically our own choice, which are sometimes influenced by the society. Uh, if we are in a society when they're talking that the fat people are not the best people because they're too fat. We kind of have a little bit less patience for them than let's maybe, I think so, some Samoa Islands where they really, or the sumo wrestlers where the people have to be fat. They're like respected, you know. You remember those the wrestlers? They're like a big those Japanese. Sometimes they're like bouncing. You know, they have those towels around their. But you saw sometimes, no. You see, basically that means I just give some perception, or some people are dressed different. You know, like the Middle East, they have a turbans on. You remember those little special hats? You know, we are more used to people have a baseball hats or maybe the hat. You know, like kind of like those. I want to say normal. Well, normal for us, but for them it's normal to have this towel or whatever rack they have a wrap it around their head. Now, because our society is always kind of like talking more or less about those people who are from the other part of the world, not so favorable, you know, then basically when we have somebody that we approach, if everything is nicely, you know, hello, how are you, both very respectful, we don't have an issue. But as soon as the other person does something clumsy, something wrong that we don't like, and
Yeah.
we probably then have much harsher judgment for him than basically for people who are wearing the baseball hat in this instance, you know,
Yeah.
if we would say. It means that basically we are on our own making the rules how we want to judge people and react on either their good stuff or the bad stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And we now agree that basically the society does influence us. How do we make those norms? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
we like let's say somebody's smoking. Now we don't smoke in this country much anymore. No,
Yeah.
before we did. Even I did smoke, but not for a long time. But yeah, I did, and it was a lot of people smoking around me. And even now in my country, people smoke a lot compared to over here. But you know, when we talk to somebody who's smoking, and we don't have a good opinion about people who smoke.
Yeah.
In general,
yeah.
we don't. We think so. They stink. They pollute the air with, you know, I'm coming somewhere in a bar and a bunch of people smoke. I didn't really appreciate to have there some voodoo science there. Somebody's burning some freaking leaves, you know, and puffing them up in the air. And now I'm kind of like influenced by this. Basically, it means because of this society here doesn't like smokers so much. Have a much harsher rules to judge them for them than if they wouldn't smoke. And now when they do, when it's a smoker and does something wrong,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
already, you know, we're going to always talk a little bit dirty. We say, I'm already pissed at him a little bit, you know. Now, if I'm pissed at him a little bit, he has a little bit less credibility, in my opinion, when I'm going to be judging. When it's coming something that I have to judge him, you know. If he's just passing by and doesn't bother me or I don't have nothing to do with him, that's fine, you know. It's just like a come and go. But like sometimes we have to interact, and then it's
Yeah,
like kind of like getting so on, and then we have like an issue how I'm going to be judging him. And this is exactly as you say. If you're a really good friend and you come to the house to visit your buddy and you drop the plate and his father really like your mom and your father, you know, like it's kind of like very close, that he likes them, he's going to be much more lenient. Oh no, don't worry, Gustavo, that's not a big deal, it happened, you know, that's it. If he somehow doesn't like your parents or something like from your side, because I don't know, whatever would be, you know, situation, you know, many things,
Yeah.
he probably would be having a little bit more issue, and you would hear a little bit more harsh, you know, be careful, you know, like what now we're going to be like with this and so on, you know. And even if you would offer, I'm going to pay for the plate. Well, you cannot just buy one plate. You have to buy the whole set, you know, like it's kind of like it's a little bit harder. But basically, with this, what we learn, I like that you brought this up. What we learn is basically our perception, how we judge our people, other people, in a good or in a bad. We're doing it now in a bad way comparison, but we could also look on a good way, you know.
Yeah.
It would be just equal. Basically, that means that each of us is responsible for the actions to the other people.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we make, now definitely we are influenced, we cannot forget, society does influence us. Here in America, let's say the where I came from, it's like where it's Slovenia. We came there. We don't have a death sentence there. We don't. People do the crime. We don't kill them. We put them in jail and we say you are too dangerous to be outside. And because you're making the mess. But you know what? If we kill you, we find a reason that we kill you, then your reason that you killed somebody else was just equally, we think it was a stupid reason, but you think it was the right reason.
Yeah.
Because if we think that it's an outright reason to kill you, we are not better, we are killers. The only difference it is that we say we have a right reason, you didn't have the right reason. But the other guy's going to say, well, I had the reason to kill this one, and you don't have the right reason to kill me. You see, it's go both ways.
Yeah.
Make no sense, But you see, and if you're going to be there in Europe, the most of the people you would ask down on the street, we say, look, who this guy did this and this, some horrible thing. That's really bad things, not to, probably somebody lost life because of his deeds, It's a horrible. But the majority of people, most majority of the people, the whole society has opinion, no, let him put in a jail and be there, that he's not going to harm anybody else, but let him live the life. I don't want to be having hands on and killing him,
Yeah.
But if we would do this in America, where it's a different culture, and basically, everybody's talking to each other, and then basically the people kind of belong to some group, which usually the groups have kind of similar opinions,
So you're kind of like saying like each country has a different reaction.